Hi, and welcome to tonight's tutorial. I'm Pam Wrigley, and I am a makeup artist and a bridal hairstylist. So thank you for joining me on tonight's tutorial. I'm going to show you how to create a really kind of pretty tumbling high bun that I actually created on one of my brides, Rana. And she kind of had hair that was just kind of down past her shoulders, I would say, below the shoulder blade, I should say. So a reasonably long hair, but it doesn't have to be massively long. You just kind of want it to be kind of maybe just above the bra strap, I would say. Perhaps a touch shorter or a touch longer. Now, if you have any questions as we go through tonight's tutorial, please just pop your questions into the chat box and I'll do my best in between styling to kind of keep an eye on all the questions. And it could be about tonight's bridal hairstyle, or it could be really about anything to do with working as a bridal hairstylist. So let's continue. You can see I've done a little bit of hair prep here for this gorgeous high bun. And basically what I've done, I've just curled the hair. We've got the crown area here into a high ponytail, and I've curled the hair in the ponytail, and we've curled the hair at the sides and at the front here and at the back, and I've left one curl out here that I can do on camera. Now you want quite a strong curl for this. You don't want the hair to be kind of too soft and silky, because we want it to look kind of textured and natural and gorgeous. But in order to achieve these kind of really textured styles where the hair looks incredibly piecey and like it's kind of just effortlessly staying in place, being held in place, you have to do the right hair prep. And that hair prep might involve crimping the hair, or you could put some mousse in the hair. Let me just turn her around so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to do a curl here, if I can do it, showing you on camera with holding the tongs vertical, and I'm keeping the hair flat, and I'm just wrapping the hair around the tongue. That's it. So you could either, as I say, you could crimp the hair, or you could put some mousse in the hair and blow dry the hair to get a little bit of texture. But I would suggest if you're working on your practice head, you don't need to put a lot of mousse in the hair, just a tiny touch, because the hair does tend to be quite kind of on the dry side anyway in the practice heads, especially if you've been working with your practice head for a while. So, and then you're going to create your curls. And I've used a little bit of hairspray first, but you could equally use a setting lotion, just so you get a nice kind of firm, it's a little bit crispy, this curl. And then what we're going to do now we're going to actually start working on the crown. But what you could do if you were creating this style on a person, you could, let me just get some sorry, 1 minute, that's it. I'm just going to get a little bit of my spray wax, if I can find it. So what you could do, if you were working on a person when you're doing this style, you could curl the hair as you go along. So curl a section and pin it up and kind of style the hair as you go along. So you could get all the hair here curled on the crown. We're going to use a little bit of padding. Good evening, Sharika. Hi, Adjoa. Hi, Louisa. Good evening. So we're going to use a little bit of padding on here. Now, you might have seen me working with padding before. Basically, it's a little bit of that kind of afro kinky hair wrapped up in a kind of unraveled donut. And you kind of get this really flexible, kind of easy to work with little bit of padding like that. And I'm going to push that ponytail forwards, and I'm going to secure this to the ponytail. Now, ideally, we'd have a little bit of spray wax, but I think I've put it somewhere. It's not to hand, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. We can maybe use a little bit of hairspray if we have any flyaway bits of hair. But let's see how we get on. So I'm going to use my up and over here to secure this padding to the ponytail. Now, if you're not sure what I'm doing when I'm using this technique, we do have, it's hard to show when we're doing our live tutorials, but I'm going into the padding, coming out again, touch the scalp with a strong hairpin and go underneath, and it goes underneath that ponytail, and basically it's not going to budge at all. It's really super secure. But we do have, if you're not sure exactly what I'm doing, we do have we have an online bridal hair platform that you can join, and you can see all these kind of different techniques that I'm using, kind of close up and in detail. And basically all we're going to do now is get our curls and loosen them and secure them to the padding. And you can, this particular style is quite high, but you could equally do it kind of a little bit lower. We actually want it to be a bit messy. We want it to look like it's kind of very just relaxed, and she just kind of got up, pinned her hair up a little bit, and it just looks gorgeous. That's what we're aiming for. But of course, it does take a little bit of work. You've got that curl, you can loosen it out. You can use a little prop to pin it up, pin the hair up in place. And really, I would say that it is the hair prep is what makes these styles kind of really easy to create. And this padding here is going to provide us with a, let's just bring this back here so it's a little bit of softness at the front. The padding is going to provide us with a nice kind of anchor to secure the hair to. So I just want this to look kind of soft and gorgeous at the front. That's it, and that padding is there. And it's just makes everything so much easier. And if you were going to do this kind of a step at a time, then you would you could move on to, once you've got the top area secure and curled, you could move on to the bottom area. As you can see, I've curled all these first, but you could just curl this section, pin it up, and then curl the next section and pin it up, and kind of work that way, rather than necessarily curling everything as I have done here first. So it's kind of optional, and you can have some nice soft curls kind of tumbling down. Let's just check our questions. Yes, Louise has just asked me, are the curls crisp because of the hairspray? And yes, they are. It is the hairspray. Let me turn her around. But what you get, what you get is you kind of get this, it's a little bit crisp, but it's kind of firm. I'd say it's firm rather than crisp. So it kind of looks soft, and it just means you can get this really kind of piecey, kind of textured look, and you can get a lovely long lasting curl. Now you could do it today. I've done the reverse wind technique where I wrapped the hair around the tongue, but you could make it less curly if you used the traditional wind, which is just doing a really soft curl. So it's almost like it's barely a curl actually. So it really depends what style your lady's looking for, and if her hair drops very easily, then you might find it's better to do a slightly tighter curl. Although I have to say, with this technique, it does tend to hold very well. Once you've got that, you can pull that curl out a little bit, lift it up, get a bit of movement here, at the bottom, and basically we're bringing everything up to the padding. So it looks soft and it looks relaxed, but of course it's really secure. And I think you can leave nice little curls out, like that one looks gorgeous. You don't necessarily have to bring everything up high. It's almost a case of letting it tumble, just seeing where the curls want to go. I'm just going with it. I'm working with a mirror off camera. And, you know, I did a style similar to this. I did a lady's hair the other week, actually. And let me just pull that curl through. So it softens it a little bit, but you don't lose the curl, but you keep the texture. So I did a style the other week on a lady, and she initially she wanted her hair kind of smooth and quite sleek. So she didn't want any texture in her hair. But then she changed her mind when we started to create the style. She changed her mind and she wanted a lovely soft, she wanted a bit of texture. She decided she did want it to be a bit kind of piecey. And of course, because she hadn't wanted that, I hadn't put, at the beginning, I didn't put any mousse in the hair or texture in the hair. So it just meant you can still create these lovely soft styles, but the hair kind of is very floppy and soft, and you'll find that if you don't have time to crimp, that curling the hair with something like this Stronghold hairspray just gives you, it almost cheats it, so you get this kind of textured feel to the hair without having to do all that crimping first of all. So it really does, it will make your life much easier. Let's have it so it's kind of falling down a little bit. We almost want to do it so it's kind of falling out almost. That's better. Lovely. Let's see. Okay. Let's have a look. Sorry, I love the bride with curly hair on Instagram. Oh, thank you, Louise. I'm glad. That Curls Rock curl cream is fantastic. It's a great smoothing cream. So Louise has just asked me about getting lovely, smooth, sleek, glossy curls. And there is a product called, I think it's called Curls Rock Amplifier, something like that. It's in a kind of, I did a bride last week and we used her natural curl. And actually, you know what? That is the product that she usually uses on her hair. So when she came for the trial and we did our kind of different curling techniques, the best, and used different products. I used some of my products, we tried her product, and the best product was her Curls Rock Amplifier cream. And so that's what we used on the wedding day. So let's have a look. These just a little bit long, aren't they here? They could do with, I think we say this every week, we could do with a little bits. Let's have it like that. A little bit of hair, kind of a little trim, I think she could do with here at the sides, just to give her a few little tumbling looks. Oh, gosh, I think I'm beginning to love this more and more. And that little bit there can just go here. And it's kind of just twisted and gorgeous. It's kind of up. Now you might find, it's a little bit too curly. In which case, what you could do is just maybe take the straighteners just ever so gently over the edges of the hair, but be careful because it can go very easy from too curly to too straight. So just go very carefully, and maybe if it's a trial, then make a note, and you'll know that on the wedding day not to make the hair quite as curly in the beginning. But of course you might allow, you need to allow a little bit of space for this style to drop, for the curls to drop a little bit. Let me lift her up. Woo! Pull the head off, that's it. Oh, look. So she's kind of, she might be a little bit high here, I think. Let's pull that down a little bit. But she's kind of tumbling and curly and gorgeous. Oh, lovely. Super quick. So once you've done that hair prep and you've got the anchor in there, then the rest of the style can be created really quickly and easily. So I hope you found this helpful, this lovely up kind of tumbling down style. Have a little play, maybe decide if some of those curls need to just be lifted just a little bit and secure. And then you could put your veil in. And I would suggest the veil would either go here. I think I have a veil here. So we could either, it would be very difficult to put the veil here. Now, one of my brides did have a veil there, but she was going to keep it in all night. Because once you put it here, of course, it's going right on top of the style. Now, it may well work. In fact, it's gone in okay. And it's gone into the padding, and you just pop a couple of grips either side, but you just have to be careful when it came out that it didn't leave a little kind of ridge here. So I would say it could go there if she wants to keep it in all day and all night. It could go here, but then because the veil's quite high, the bun is quite high, it means the veil looks very high from the front. Or it could go, if you want to put it at the back here, I would suggest, normally we put our veils in this way, going down with the comb, the curve of the comb going next to the curve of the head. But if she wants it to go in underneath the bun like this, you probably, because there's not a lot of room here for this, you could possibly get the veil in like this, and it's kind of going down into the nape of, into the hair here. And luckily this lady's got enough hair that I can slide that down. But if the bun was a little bit lower, then you might have to turn that around and push that up, because there might not be enough hair here. And of course you have to remember, if this is very low down, watch you don't pull that out. If the style is, if the bun is very low down and the veil is going to be sitting here, if the comb goes down, might be a bit complicated this, but if the comb's going down, every time she lifts her head up, that comb is going to dig into her neck. So you might find it better to go upwards like that and put some grips either side of the comb. So we want the veil to look lovely, but we do want her to be comfortable. So a couple of grips either side of that veil will help it to stay in, even if it's kind of been pushed in the comb, with the comb going up in, you know, up underneath that padding. So we've got our lovely high bun, tumbling soft curls with our veil in, and she's looking gorgeous. Oops, I've been missing all these questions. I got carried away. Let's have a look. Lovely style. Thank you, Louisa. So Louisa's done a style like this for her daughter's wedding. So I'd love to see some of your photos. That would be fantastic. Yeah, you know what, Sharika? The doll's hair does look smooth, but it's actually a little bit dry at the ends. I think maybe if you were here in person, you'd see, and I would put a little bit of cold cream or a bit of spray wax on the ends of the hair. So yeah, don't worry, she looks all smooth and glossy, and it is smooth and glossy here, but the ends need a little bit of TLC. Thank you, Ajwa. It is a very quick style, this one. Let's have a look. Any tips for cutting down long, thick hair? Yes. Now, if you're working with long, thick, heavy hair, the way to make the styling bit quicker is to get rid of some of the hair. So if you were doing this, obviously I don't mean cutting the hair off, but if you were doing something like this, you'd probably just leave a small halo of hair around the edge, get the rest of the hair up into a ponytail, so you're not trying to deal with all the hair. And I think we do have a style. We do have a tutorial on one of the live tutorials where we do a bun similar to this, but down at the back here. And basically, we get all the hair into a ponytail, a big chunk of the hair into a ponytail. You just style the front and the side sections to get that kind of look that you want, whether you're going to braid the hair or twist it. And then you just work with the hair in the ponytail. So you're kind of getting rid of lots of hair. Braids are also great as well when you're working with long, thick, heavy hair and you need to be kind of, you know, careful with the time. So yeah, if you're working with long hair, try and control it a little bit and get rid of the bulk of the hair by getting it into a ponytail and then just working with the hair in the ponytail to create your style. And the front and the side sections you can change to make sure the style suits your client. So you don't want to have to pull everything all back tight. We do want it to be soft and relaxed as well. And I have done a couple of brides actually recently that have had long hair kind of down to the small of the back there. And you can create lovely styles, but ponytails are essential. So I hope that helps. And I'm glad you're in, you know, she's a little bit high, isn't she? Looking at her from here. Maybe it could do with being a bit more like that. So you know what you would do actually if it was all a bit too high, what you could do is maybe just bring the ponytail back a little bit. So maybe instead of having the ponytail on the crown, just bring it back a little tiny bit. Or when you're securing these curls on top of that padding, just bring them a little bit flatter. So yeah, but other than that, for a quick style, I'm happy. But any ideas you have, please, for future styles, just send your ideas in to me. You can get in touch with us here on YouTube or Instagram, Create Beautiful Hair. And of course, you can join me on my online bridal hair course. Just get in touch if you need any information. Have a good week, and I will see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.